Hey Bread Gang, I hope everyone's doing good and keeping safe, and of course had a great weekend. Today is a big day for Lucid Motors because they've got the Q3 earnings. I mean, this could really determine what the price is saying tomorrow and the rest of the week. So in today's video, I'm going to go through the earnings. So have a look at basically what the earnings per share, the predicted earnings per share is, and how this could potentially affect the price going forward. Also look at if they beat the earnings, what could possibly happen. Or if they don't beat the earnings, what could possibly happen as well. So part of the reason why the price has been rising so much could possibly be the whole buy the rumor, sell the news type of scenario. And two, I'm going to have a look at the institutional ownership. So having a look at who's buying and how much shares they're buying. Three, I'm going to have a look at the short interest data. So this can really determine the price. In fact, the swings in terms of the price, can it really take off or can it really fall based on the short flow interest data. I'm going to have a look at the price action. So looking at where the price currently is and where I believe it's going to go to, especially tying it up with this whole earnings announcement that's today. So make sure you guys watch to the end so you don't miss any vital information. And of course, if you just came for certain pieces of information, I'm leaving pretty much a timestamp below so you guys can basically flick your way through and watch as you want. And if you're new to the channel, welcome. If this is the kind of content you guys like to see, make sure you subscribe and of course hit that notification bell so you don't miss any further uploads. And with that being said, let's get this bread. So have a look at the Twitter right now. I'd like to show you guys basically Lucid Motors. Bit of good news actually. They've just started delivering cars etc. to customers and in different cities. So they've got Emerald City, they've got Chicago, they've got Rocky Mountains, all of that. So they've started delivering, which is really good. And the reason I'm showing you guys this is it's all fun and games buying stocks of companies that you believe are going to go up, or maybe somebody said it's going to go up or it's going to 10x or whatever. But fundamentally, you actually need to know what the company behind these stocks actually do, products that they create, the customer base that they have, and basically what they stand for as a company. So Lucid Motors, being of course an electric vehicle manufacturer, they have to manufacture vehicles, they have to deliver these vehicles to customers, and of course they have to make a profit. That way you know that the company is sustainable in the long run and attract a lot of potential investors to buy into the stock and drive the share price of that stock up. So Lucid Motors, the fact that they're actually making deliveries on vehicles, this is actually a really good thing. So now the big event for Lucid, and of course they've got the earnings on market close today. So exciting times, guys. Earnings announcement for Lucid 15th of November. If we scroll down, just earnings per share. So right now the predicted earnings per share is sitting at minus 22 cents. So the forecasted earnings is that they believe that Lucid is going to lose 22 cents per share, from today's earnings. So there's three possible outcomes for this. So the first outcome is that Lucid actually beats this earnings, which is the outcome that everyone wants, right? So if Lucid beats the earnings and surprises people, then likely there's going to be a gap up in price tomorrow, like basically tomorrow morning, because a lot of investors are going to be jumping on this going, you know what, yes, Lucid are doing it, they're beating their earnings, they're going to skyrocket, they're going to take off and head to $100, which is what I'm predicting by the end of the year, or by at least April next year. It's going to get to $100, going to be gassed, right? They're going to be buying into this, and the price is pre-market is going to gap up, because a lot of brokers, they allow pre-market trading. So the price is going to gap up and possibly take off. So the second possible outcome is that Lucid performs the same as they did last quarter. If this is the case, then basically trading will just go as normal. I think a lot of people, there might be some people that are disappointed that, Lucid didn't beat their earnings. And there's also could be people that are disappointed that Lucid actually didn't do worse than the last quarter, so either way, I believe the market will just go as normal. The price may actually dip, retrace back to a little bit, and I'll explain a bit more into this in the technical analysis, but I believe the price may just dip a bit and then continue heading up. Third possible outcome is that the analysts are actually right in that basically Lucid Motors loses like 22 cents per share or loses more, basically doesn't do as well as they did last quarter. And if this is the case, then the price is most likely going to drop. It could possibly drop quite hard before it actually gets to a certain level, forms a base, forms a support, and then starts driving up from that support zone. So either way, I believe the price is going to retrace to a certain level and then start heading back up as a lot of demand is driven towards it, especially seeing as Lucid Motors as a business, they're now delivering cars. They're basically doing what they set out to do and told investors what they're going to do, which is a good thing. So staying on Twitter, I want to show you one of the tweets that Lucid Motors were tagged in. And basically this is effectively call and put options order flow. So an order flow is basically a secret that pull print of what investors, institutions and private investors with a lot large capital, etc., are placing orders on. And this is just in terms of the option side of things. So within the option flow, they've got the name, the ticker symbol of the stock that they're buying, they've got the strike price, they've got whether it's a call or a put, and they've got the price that basically that option was actually bought or sold at. The ones I would like to draw your attention to is that, first of all, there's a whole bunch of call options, right? And only one put option. So which means that a lot of people were believing that price is going to keep rising, so they're buying call options so they can either profit on it. And bearing in mind that part of the reason why there's option order flows, etc., or people buy or sell options is to hedge the bets, or it could be speculative because they believe that the price is going to take off. In this case, there's a lot of bunch of call options, so they believe that the price could potentially take off. Although a lot of these expiry date was on Friday, there's some expiring this week, this Friday, there's some expiring last week Friday, some expiring this week. So the point I'm making is that a lot of people are buying call options, that they believe that the price is going to take off, which is creating a lot of demand within the share price. And this is partially why this price has been rising. But also the fact that a lot of the call options have actually expired on Friday, this could potentially take a lot of demand away from the market. So you might start seeing basically Lucid Motors price start to fall, and this is just normal. So if option order flow is your kind of thing, or you're looking at this and like, what is this? Seems interesting. I would like to know a bit more. Leave me a comment below, guys. I'll be happy to explain what this is, or even do a couple of videos on option order flow and how you can profit from that, because I use option order flow as part of my trading, personal trading. I do a lot of options trading. So now let's have a look at the institutional ownership. Basically look at who's buying and how much are they buying, just to see the kind of demand that's being driven to the price. Because if you're buying Lucid Motors stock, you of course want the price to drive up, right? And the only way that the price is going to go up is demand, so you want to know if there's demand, and especially institutional demand, because these guys, they don't play around. They buy in bulk, they buy huge. It's like wholesale for them. If you know who are buying and how much they're buying, this is a great sign. And of course who's selling as well, but we'll focus on who's buying for now. Down this column we've got the shares, the number of shares that are being bought, right? So we've got Meridian Wealth Partners, they're buying 500 shares, that's fair enough. But we've got the Neuberger Berman Group, I'm not sure that's how you pronounce them. I hope that's how you pronounce it, but they're buying over 1 million shares. That's a lot of demand that's being driven. And then you've got guys, First Republic Investment Management buying 13,000 shares. You've got these guys buying 23,000 shares, 20,000 shares, 36,000 shares. So basically there's a lot of demand being driven by investment firms and also hedge funds and private investments. They're buying a lot of shares. So this is going to drive the demand. And of course, they don't just buy and then sell the next day. They're buying, a lot of these firms, hedge funds, etc., they're long-term investors. So like the instance of these guys that bought over 1 million shares, chances are they're going to hold those 1 million shares for time to come, And the beauty of all this is that a lot of hedge funds, private investors with a lot of capital, let's face it, they know stuff that we don't know. They've got more experience, they're more knowledgeable of the markets or whatever. So if they're buying a lot, that is a really good sign, because they know something positive that we don't know. So guess what? We can just jump on that wave. So the short data for Friday's close is sitting at 8.7 million shares that are being shorted. That's a lot of shares that are being shorted. So I believe there's such a huge amount of short interest in this 8.7 million shares being shorted is this whole buy the rumor, sell the news kind of thing. So a lot of short sellers could potentially be hoping that the price actually drops after this and they can profit on the decline of that price. So for now, have a look at the chart, in particular looking at the daily chart, and as you can see, the price is pretty much taken off. So in my last video, I explained how there was bull flag after bull flag, which indicated a lot of bullish presence in the market, and also seen as the price is above the 10-period moving average. This was very strong bullish indications into like strong bullish momentum within the market. And I also mentioned that there was a possibility that the price was going to fall, at least test the 10-period moving average, just to see if the 10 moving average is still acting as a good dynamic support, or they could potentially break that support. And if they do, if the price gets below the 10-period moving average, then I believe that the price could potentially fall to one of the levels. So if we have a look at the Fibonacci retracement, I believe the price could potentially fall within the 38 to the 61. More than likely it's going to get towards the 50% fib. Within the 38 and the 61, this is a good buy zone. So when the price gets to this point, it will of course be below the 10 moving average, which would indicate that the bearish momentum is strong. So if the price falls, gets below the 10 moving average, and also gets towards this one of these key levels, then I believe there's going to be a lot of demand around this area in terms of price level. So if we're looking between 38.66 and also 32.74, so smack bang in the middle of that, we're looking at 35.70. So 35.70, I believe there could potentially be a lot of demand around that level. If I was to buy the dip on this, add more Lucid shares, then I'll be waiting for one of those levels, especially looking at between the 35 and the 32 level. But of course, I'll be basically scaling in my position. I'd like to point your attention to the RSI. Right now, there's actually negative RSI divergence. So the price has made a new high, and also the RSI has made a new high. So the price went from effectively at the peak here from 41 to the new high at 47. So it's made a new price high. And also looking at the RSI, the peak here at 81 and the next peak sitting at 84. So it's a very subtle RSI negative divergence. What this means is that, look, there's a lot of bullish momentum. You know, the last time that the bulls made a new high was sitting at like 29th of October. The RSI got to 81 and the price retraced a little bit, but the bulls pushed the price even further up in terms of the RSI. So this shows that there was a lot more momentum, bullish momentum within that move. What this means is that the price is likely to head back up to test this resistance at $47. And when it does that, there's going to be a lot of momentum possibly to push this price even further up above this resistance. So if you enjoyed this video, make sure you guys subscribe and of course hit that notification bell so you don't miss any further uploads and updates on Lucid Motors or any other stocks that I cover, or even tokens, cryptocurrencies that I cover. And also give this video a thumbs up. Let me know this is the kind of content you guys like to see. Comment below, let me know your thoughts on Lucid Motors. Do you like it? Are you invested in it? Do you like the stock? Let me know in the comments below. Thanks guys, I'll see you in the next video.